Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to talk about the concept of minimalism. What minimalism is, why more and more people embrace minimalism, and how you can benefit from minimalism as well. At its core, minimalism is the concept of stripping away unnecessary or wasteful things from our lives. It is the practice of having only things in our lives we deem most important. Things that weigh us down, convince us to spend our money impulsively or squander our time unnecessarily should be reduced or removed completely. This is not to say that we shouldn't have the things in our lives that we deem most important or that bring us most joy. Minimalism then is the practice of being extremely intentional with the limited resources we have in our lives, aligning them with our highest and best priorities and disregarding the rest. The notion that less is better than more. Minimalism can be seen as a tool to help us find freedom. Freedom from too many unnecessary things. Freedom from financial and time commitments. Freedom from anxiety, stress, and worry. So why do more and more people embrace minimalism? People, especially here in the US, feel tired of being on the treadmill. We work 40 hours a week. We commute 10 hours a week on top of it, and we have a side hustle to pay off debt, student loans, and other financial obligations. We have subscriptions to Amazon Prime, gym memberships, cable TV, magazines, Spotify, and the list goes on and on. At the end of the day, many of us feel stressed, burned out, and exhausted. In 2020, amid the pandemic, a third of US adults say they're having difficulties covering basic expenses such as food, rent, and car payments. Needless to say, people with the lowest income households are facing the biggest challenges. But even some households making $200,000 or more are straining to pay the basic expenses. A lot of it can be contributed to living in a high cost of living state and not earning enough income to pay the bills. Another factor is that 50% or more of US households end up in divorce. This alone sets people back years, financially and emotionally. On top of all this, we are constantly bombarded by corporations to buy their products to be happy. But the truth is that more stuff, more consumption, and more time at work do not lead to long-term happiness. So if we intuitively know or have a hunch that we are not heading in the right direction, why is it so difficult to change? After all, aren't we in charge of our destiny? It is the fact that we are not intentional about our lives. We are not intentional about the way we spend our money, the way we spend our time, or the way we accumulate things. We are not intentional about reducing our exposure to media that suggest, yes, we can live the good life if we are only to buy their products or services. It's not alone our fault. We are outmarketed, outsmarted, and outspent by big corporations. Many of us don't have a system or community that helps us focus on what really matters. Most of our contemporaries are engaging in consumption behaviors, no matter if they have the financial means to consume or not. And again, this influences our behavior. But there has to be a better way. Enter minimalism. More and more people are realizing they want to get off the hedonic treadmill, essentially spending money to gain temporary happiness. We are realizing that we don't want to be a pawn being moved around by players that don't have our best interest at heart. Minimalism brings awareness to how overcommitted many of us are and helps us focus on the few truly essential things. Minimalism is by no means a silver bullet or solution to all of our financial or spiritual problems, but it helps us reprioritize our time, avoid the consumption trap, and it gives us a system to help shift our behavior. So here's how you can benefit from minimalism. First and foremost, minimalism helps bring awareness to your situation, prioritize, and declutter your life. Minimalism helps finding clarity about the 2 or 3 things that matter most in your life. For most of us, that is our community, our health, and the freedom to pursue work or a hobby that is meaningful to us. Minimalism can help make progress toward financial freedom. If we only spend money on the things we deem truly important, we'll be a much better shepherd of our financial resources. For example, we don't need a luxury vehicle to make us happy. Most of us could drive a used vehicle that costs less than $5,000 to get us from point A to point B safely. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, check out the video I created on buying used cars. Stopping the river of boxes that are delivered to our doorsteps will help us free up money for retirement, a rainy day fund, or meaningful experiences. Another super important thing to wrap your thoughts around is shifting our mindset from being a consumer to being a producer. We all want to contribute more to our community or causes we deem important. However, that's hardly possible if we are overworked, overcommitted, and in debt. When we shift our focus from consumption to creation, we are better able to help our community, spend less money, feel more purpose, and ultimately have more control over our lives. There are a lot of great tools and resources available to help you get started with minimalism. Two of my favorite blogs on the topic are written by a couple of different people. One is Leo Babauta, who writes a blog called Zen Habits, and then there's also Joshua Fields and Ryan Nicodemus, who write a blog called The Minimalist. Minimalism is different things to different people. It's not a one-size-fits-all. But if you want to de-stress and declutter your life, mentally and financially, minimalism can definitely help you get there. If this video was helpful for you, please like it, subscribe to it, and share it with one friend who can benefit from minimalism. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the flip side.